Right, hello and welcome back to another episode of Mini Daily. And on today's episode, we are going to try and recommission this for the road. Long story short, I've owned it about 3.5 years now, and I've probably only driven it for about 6 months.
I have to just go back a bit, Dad.
So, as you can hear, I do have an extra pair of hands with me today, so you might hear them in the background. The last time I driven this car on the road was November last year. It was just down into the village and back up, but what I want to do today is I want to basically clean it out, get it ready. Back from Rustival on Sunday night, so a couple of days have went by that I haven't been doing anything. Just really giving me the push after being at the show to actually get this back on the road. Now, what you're looking at there looks good from a distance, but it's far from good. So what I'll do is I'll give you a quick walk around and we'll have a talk about what actually needs to be done, and let's get some soap on it.
This is good enough to see.
Now, just a spoiler alert, I'm not washing the car in this video. I only realised that when I was kind of finished the inside of it. Reason being is the video will be way too long, and this car is going to get a lot of attention when it is getting washed. So the video will probably be the same length of time as the interior shots of this. So here we go. Now, I'm actually nearly embarrassed to open the door of this. It is absolutely filthy. Now, as I said before in a previous video, I've been using it kind of like a shop truck. So I've been going up and down the yard in it with, as you can see, the amount of stuff that's there, and it's kind of still not finished. Yeah, look at the dirt on there, like, and the seats. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take out the seats in it. Now, you thought the front was bad. Wait till you see the back. Yeah. Half up back together interior, full drum of vegetable oil. Now, I actually picked up that yesterday in Lidl. It'll be a nice little addition. 20 quid, you can't go wrong. Parkside for the win. As you can see, there's blue seat covers there. I did plan on covering these at one stage, but I actually think I'll shampoo them instead because it's a nice seat. So we'll move on to the boot then. Now, as you can see, typical 2000s. I have put a set of Ministry of Sound 6x9s in the back shelf. They're not for everyone, but I like them. Also a subwoofer. Now I need to get the thing back on that. The glue just gave up on it. So now bear in mind I have this 20 years and the same with the amp. Everything just needs to be all tidied back in here, and then again a good shampoo and sort of wiring out of them speakers as well. So there's always little lists.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass bray.
For all time's sake. As time goes by.
Now, I just said I'd take you in this side how to remove the back seats, but as you can see, like, I had you on time lapse, but you can see how quick the front seat came out and how quick this section of here. Now, I'm not sure about the back bit on this side, but that side I didn't even need any tools. So we lift up the seat base, flip it forward. You can see here, so you just pull it up There's your seat base out. So we just dropped this section down here. I'm hoping this is on a bar that side as well. So
Daddy, I can see you.
yeah, there's a little tab here that you just push back.
Dad, I can see you.
Just grab your screwdriver. Just pull the. Now, so you pull that back that way. And you just, that's it.
I don't have to go in front of the camera for a minute.
Now, that's your back seat out. And there's where the remote control went for the radio. Right, so this side with the seat, you're looking in here in the middle. There is two 13mm bolts, or sorry, nuts that hold in the seat. And then you have these plastic covers at the back. There's a little screw that you pop up, and there is a I think it's a T20, two screws that you can take out the plastic cover panel on the sliders, and then the seat just falls back. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift up the seat, because there's an airbag module under the seat. Now, always remember to disconnect your battery, and what I usually do is I touch the two terminals off each other just to take any residual power out of the car, and that always seems to work. So I'm just taking you in for a closer look there. There's your airbag connection there. So the easiest thing to do is take it off this piece of plastic here. Now, and what I found the other side as well is if you slide that out. Now there's your connector, right? So you have this piece here, lifts up and gives you access to this piece here. Now, I ain't going to be able to film this two-handed, so I'm going to have to set this down for a second. And that's where it is connected. So, as I said, you just pull this up and pull the tab out, and your seat is ready to be removed. Now, guys, there you have it. There's the interior stripped. You can see the absolute state of it in here. So, what we are going to do is we're going to take out the hoover. We're going to take out the brush and the drill and a bit of carpet cleaner and see what we can get out of this. Look at this, look. So let's get rid of all the rest of the rubbish, get you set up on a time lapse, see if you can watch. Right, let's get this time lapse rolling. don't know if you can see the difference because the sun is quite strong, surprisingly. But after a quick pass, it is literally night and day. So I'll bring this back in when I have the rest of this done. Look at the state of that. I should hang my head in shame for the state of it. Now, I'm probably going to have to go over it again when the dust settles, but that is a massive, massive improvement. Hopefully it'll pick up better on camera. The other side, as I said, the sun is really strong, which is very unusual for Ireland. So let's crack on with the next side. Alright, so we're just going to move on to the seats now. As you can see, they're all covered in dirt, all in hair and everything like that. Now, the one thing that always annoyed me about this car as well is you can see this back arm here has a lot of rust on it. So what I'm going to do is just, while it's out, just quickly chase it back with a wire brush and just put some black over it just to smarten it up a little bit. You don't really see it in the car, but when you open the door you can kind of see it there. So while the seats are out, it'd be rude not to. So put this up on a tripod. Now I'm going to try this. I know people are going to shout at me and say use a wet vac, but I'm going to have a go at this stuff and see if it's any good. I don't know if you can see that from there, but oh my god, that's disgusting. That is just pure human slime coming up out of them seats. So that stuff doesn't look bad, and we'll continue and see how clean we can get the seat looking. Now, it's not perfect, by no means. It's a hell of a lot better than what it was, and for a cheap can of stuff, it's not bad. Zoom in there. You can see a lot of that is shadowing that you're seeing, but that's like clean there. Now there's still another little bit here to be done, but we'll get there. So what I'll do is, you've seen me doing one, and I have this pile here to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to turn this back on and throw them back in the seats. Alright guys, let's start getting this interior back in. I'm not worried about the boot for the time being, I just want to get the cabin of the car back into a presentable state. So, fitting the interior back into the car is much the same as taking it out. So, what we need to do is, we need to push that in there like that. There's a little locator here, and just push it back in until that catch moves across, and then there's your seat back in. Easy as that, guys. As for the base, flip the base up in the air. As I showed you before, there's two tangs, there's one here and one here, and they have their own little home there. And there. Now, let's make sure that belt is lifted up. Yeah, same with this side. So let's clip it in. Just make sure those wires are under that. So, then now, just last but not least, Now, yes, I did skip and edit out that bit. I was just trying to fit the head unit in properly because it had been bugging me the way it was sitting out and the surround wouldn't sit on it. So, one thing I can say to you is this looks a hell of a lot better than it did an hour or two ago. Right, well, a little bit more hoovering and then I am going to throw the front seats back in, so bear with me. Again, this panel has not been in it for about a year and a half. Right, now it's actually been a long couple of hours, but we're ready to put the seats back in. Now I'll have a quick look inside. Now it's not 100% perfect and I did use some cheap products just to see how they'd work. So here we go. Smartens Gary up just a little bit, doesn't it? Now the stuff I used on the plastics I'm not actually quite happy with. What was it called? Dunlop cleaner. It's just not good. It looks great when it's on wet and then it dries and it just looks like the dirt has reappeared back to the surface. So if any of you guys have a recommendation on a good plastic cleaner that stays kind of like with a wet look, please let me know in the comments. Now let's put you on time lapse and we'll whip these seats back in. Right, all that one done. I'm going to leave the camera on there for a second, and I'm going to reconnect the batteries, see if these seats go boom boom, and if they don't, I'll give you a quick walk around the car, the inside of the car. No, it didn't go bang. Now, it's not perfect by any means. This was all done with cheap products. This is what I'm most happy with. This can do be gone over again. For anyone who says that, I have a wetback. I will be doing the seats over again. I just wanted to try some cheap products out and just kind of get the worst of the grot out of the car. But you have to admit that looks 10 times better than it did this morning when I started it. Now that's just the cabin area. So next I have to tackle the shelf on the back here and the boot. Now, what do you think of that? If you enjoyed it, there's a button for it there. Hit subscribe. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Share it amongst your friends. I'll catch you in the